Isn't that a lovely piece of music? That's from an album by Rondo Veneziano. It's called Zodiac. Each track is named after one of the signs of the zodiac. That's track 4 called Scorpione Acqua. That's from an album called Zodiaco. The Zodiac, Rondo Veneziano. And before that, we had Tom Paxton singing a song called Johnny Got a Gun from an album called, let me see what that's called, Wearing the Time. That's on Sugar Hill Records. That's good. I'm thinking about that.
Sorry?
Are you busy there? Sorry.
No, not busy.
I'm just thinking about that man in New York. He was sitting there at 6 o'clock in the morning and he didn't appear to have any drink taken of any kind, which is what I kind of suspected, because any time I was ever on the phone to anybody from New York at 6 o'clock in the morning, I was always full as a Poe. But he seemed quite sober, and he seemed to be a man who was missing the province.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you were in Birmingham?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you feel that way? Do you know what it's like to be homesick?
I know what it's like.
Do you know what it's like?
I know what it's like to cry myself to sleep.
I remember one time sitting in a motel in Canada, and I remember a big crack in the wall. I was looking at the crack in the wall. It wasn't what you would call a 4-star. And the wind and the snow was howling outside, and there was 4 girls in my bed. And I remember saying to myself, you know, this isn't what I was educated for.
No.
I remember saying to myself, this isn't what my mother brought me up for. And I said, this isn't the country for me. So I told the girls to get out. To hell's gates, I said, get out, go home to your beds. And do you know what I did?
No.
Do you know what I did then? I sat down and I wrote a letter.
Why am I part of this?
And this is what this letter said. It said,
there's a man waiting to talk to you.
what?
There's a man waiting to talk to you.
I wanted to play Charlie now.
We'll play Charlie afterwards. Now, before you talk to the man, can I just tell you, a gentleman phoned to say that the cup and the fountain.
You're waving your hand in a very
Because I'm excited.
way. Yeah,
Because I've no pen, you see.
I see that, you're waving your hand. You haven't turned into Jackie Fullerton once today. That's because you haven't got that pen in your hand. Put the pen in your hand and see what happens.
All right. No, stop it.
Go on, what happens when you get the pen in your hand?
Well, you see, you do that to me.
Who's on the phone?
Look, this story, it's Michael, but just before you talk to Michael,
You see, you're
there's a man phoned to say that there is a sweatshop, a fountain in Mahara, outside a place called the Sweat House in Mahara. And there's a cup and a fountain.
Why do you keep coming back to the cup and the fountain? We dealt with that.
Because it's cursed.
Outside a sweatshop.
It's called the Sweat House in Mahara, and it was cursed.
It was cursed?
It is cursed.
The cup is cursed?
The fountain, and the locals refused to drink from
In
it.
Mahara, the locals refused to drink from a cursed fountain?
That's what a man said.
Really?
Aye.
Well, we'll have to investigate
Will you
that.
investigate that one?
The cursed fountain of Mahara felt. Mahara, is it?
In Mahara.
Well, is anyone in Mahara?
But could you imagine? I mean, if you were standing at the cursed fountain in Mahara, drinking out of the cup, and I came on, what would I shout to you?
No, just by put that cup down.
I would shout, what? Behind you! Behind you!
Hello?
Oh, you're shocking. Oh, the thing you come out was not one like that engine boy. He's shocking as well.
Oh.
He keeps it going. and you see when you're getting on all about them poor girls in your bed. I'm roaring here.
Well, you know, I've always wanted to confess that.
I know, it's not the poor women in your bed. It's just the way you say, get the hell scared.
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Good morning, Jay. Very well. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
I have to report immediately.
Oh, go ahead.
I have to report. One of our van drivers come in today. See, they take stuff across every day to Scotland, 5 days a week.
Is that right?
And he came to me and he says I was coming back on the HSS last night. And you know who was on it?
Here.
Julian Simmons.
Julian Simmons on the DHS, yes.
Yeah.
Was he there as a passenger or was he
Well,
pretending to
he was
troops?
there as a passenger, apparently 3 or 4 dolly birds around him.
Really?
According to the van driver.
Well, that's
And
unusual for him.
He had a Versace bomber jacket and he had like, what do you call them, wee boots, you know, like desert type boots and a pair of combat trousers on. He must have thought he was joining the army.
He had a pair of desert boots, a pair of combat trousers and a Versace bomber jacket?
That's what was reported to me first thing this morning, 6:05.
Is that right? And there's 3 or 4 girls around him?
Oh, yes.
Well, he'll never wear them again then.
Well, that's the set.
That's the effect it has on them. You can't have that.
I was very surprised, like, because...
Well, why wouldn't he be on it?
Because he's an airport man, sure, he's back and forth in airplanes.
Maybe he didn't want anybody to see him.
And apparently somebody says, tell him you hadn't much to write about last Sunday.
Really?
Aye, because the fella, apparently they were queuing up or something and somebody behind him said that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously referring to the column that nobody reads, that Julian writes for the...
I think it's funny sometimes some of the old nonsense can out with.
I can't read that kind of stuff because, you feel as if you should be doing something else. I always read May McFetridge's column, though.
What's that in?
It's in the Sunday World.
Oh, the Sunday Lair. I wouldn't read that.
Jerry Kelly used to have a column in the People, but they told him to go away.
Is that right?
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
There's an awful lot of ones, like from here, writing for such and such and all, isn't there?
I used to write for a newspaper. I wrote.
You did not.
I did. I wrote. I wrote a column for. I'm a well-known author. You realise that.
Oh, I know. That's the book. Oh, yes,
I'm
indeed.
much in demand. Well, I wrote a column for a newspaper called I think it was the Sunday Life. I think it was for about 4 or 5 weeks. But then they seemed to lose interest in me because
I remember that. I think I vaguely remember that.
Do you know the secret of writing?
At the time, I had a whole lot of different ones on.
That's right.
And John Daly and all was on.
That's right. Do you know the secret of writing a column for a Sunday newspaper?
Write a lot of nonsense.
Exactly. The secret is never write anything that you mean.
You see, I don't think there's ever any time spent in them things.
No, actually, if you write anything...
And that's why I don't take... I take it with a pinch of salt,
If you write anything that you mean, it scares people. So what you do, you write a lot of old... You know what I mean? The word I'm looking for. And then people read it all the time and they think it's great. But this is neither. This is far away from Julian Simmons on the DHSS.
No, it's not.
Well, that's a good celebrity spot now, because I wouldn't have imagined...
And I'm not even... whoever our celebrity spotter is for this programme,
He's very bad. He sees nobody.
He must be blind or something.
He sees nobody. I'm just wondering why Julian is on that. There may have been fog closing in the airports.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
But the van driver says he gave me a description of 6:05 this morning. He ran up the floor and told me. Says, if you're on to Gerry Anderson, so I thought I must ring this morning.
When was this, tell me?
This was last evening.
Just like yesterday?
Yes, just like yesterday.
So we'll watch Julian tonight on television, see if there's any signs of weariness or strain on him.
You see, he'll probably write about it in the column, the Sunday Life.
He probably will, because any old thing at all does, you see, just fill up the columns.
When he was apparently he was in a coffee shop or something last week, and whatever it is, 200 words or something, that's all you got.
I know. It's kind of, you feel sometimes...
Anyway, get off this here.
Yes,
here. See that piece of music you played?
Which piece?
The last piece.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Wasn't it lovely?
Do you know, okay, I shouldn't be saying this, maybe this is the Answering Boys place, but I think you should play a wee bit every morning. Like relaxing music, because I was all relaxed and all.
I often feel the same way. I'm very fond of classical music, but I think sometimes it frightens the people.
But that sort of thing. People like that sort of thing. Okay, no. You don't want to sort of Beethoven and all that, but that sort of thing there's nice. And even, goodness, the Italian leather jacket salesman would be more of a friend to you now.
I know, but you see, you have to understand what's happening in Radio Ulster. You see, I'm a bit frightened about what's going on here. You see, first of all, John Bennett comes on and fires the tranquilizer dart into the people. You see, and they're almost kind of gone by the time I come on. And then after I'm finished, you see, David's at them. And he scares them stupid. And then Hugo comes and really... You will.
Yeah.
After Hugo's finished, they're just dead. They're gone. And then George finishes them off. But the time I get them, they're very delicate. They're very delicate, because they know what's coming the rest of the day, and they've already been... I don't know. Actually, I don't know. If I play classical music, it might make them feel as if they don't know anything.
No, I'm just saying one piece.
Yeah.
Because, will I tell you, there was a woman on yesterday, and I don't know where she was coming or going, or where she knew she was coming or going or not.
Yeah.
But she was saying about you need to play a wide range of music.
Yes.
She obviously doesn't listen to it. Sure, when you talked about Irish Dementia, she didn't even know who she was.
Exactly. I often have to laugh, when people say, why don't you play a wide range of music?
I think she likes that old music, like it sounds like a squeaky gate. The sort of thing I went to, remember that old rave I went to?
I know.
They're hard. And then see but that's people, mutton dresses lamb trying to be young.
She might like a bit of drum and bass.
Well, I don't know.
Well, sometimes people do. Well, how about your life? How's it been going on recently? Are you happy?
Fine and down. And the weather's picking up. Do you ever notice? See, when you get a sunny day, everybody's hello, all listening, all great and all, and everybody's happy. And you get a wet day, and they wouldn't speak 2 words, see? That happens all the time. All the time.
Do you know what I noticed too, and I don't know if you noticed this as well? People in Northern Ireland, God bless their wee souls, especially some of the young people, they don't know what to do when the weather's good. I saw a young lady
They're
out...
not used with it.
No, they're not used to it. I saw a young lady out this morning, and she had very white skin indeed. She looked like, well, she looked very, very white indeed. And she had a big white jumper on, and a wee short skirt. You know, and I felt like saying to her, for God's sake, you know, have a bit of sense, will you? And the sun was beating down.
The fashion plate will be arresting her.
I know. But you wouldn't do a thing like that.
Oh, no, I don't
I
wear
certainly
skirts.
hope not. Right, listen, Michael, we have to go now. Thank you very much. I want you to... I'm thinking of giving you the job of celebrity spotter because our celebrity spotter sees nobody.
But I don't see that now. I mean, I didn't see that man myself, like I was reporting.
I know, but people tell you
I
things.
see them all the time.
We'll accept things second hand.
Do you know the best celebrity spot I ever heard?
Well,
Was when somebody reported that Ivan Martin was seen in the vicinity of Queen's PEC and Ivan Martin rung off or sent you a letter to deny all.
that's right, Jack. Of course.
Have you seen him lately? Now, I don't mean to keep you late.
No.
But he lost an awful lot of weight.
He goes up and down like a yo-yo.
Well, will I tell you? Now, it must have been the end of the season. I was up at one of the matches with my dad. And Big Ivan was coming out with Stephen, or Waistcoat Watson, as the dad called him.
Yes.
My goodness. You know, he had an awful lot of weight way off.
No, it falls off him, and then it piles on, and it falls off him again. Must be bad for his heart.
It couldn't be great. Well, here, let you go. Look after yourself now.
Right, God bless
All
you.
right, bye now.
Bye. That's why I like stimulating conversation about absolutely nothing. It's now 22 minutes to 12 o'clock. This is Charlie Lansborough, by request.
Down the years, there'll be days when we must be apart.